Welcome back to the channel, YouTube family. I'm excited to announce to everyone on the channel that I am looking into some new investments for 2022. I'm going to be making videos for each of those and also explaining why I decided to go into each of those purchases. I'm going to be looking into things such as the Metaverse, such as play to earn, such as other blockchain cryptos, and everything in between. So stay tuned, there's going to be a lot coming in 2022. We're going to kick things off with my first new investment, which is Polkadot. I am going to go over a few high-level details which really prompted me to lean towards Polkadot as my first investment, and also show you the price action as of late and see where the buy levels may be. As always, thanks for stopping by, guys. If you do enjoy this content and you want to see more crypto content in the future, please feel free to subscribe and go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. Alright guys, before we go any farther, I wanted to introduce everybody to the three founders of Polkadot. They really impressed me, and especially with some of the interviews and things that I've seen on YouTube. As you can see, Gavin Wood's portfolio speaks for itself, seeing that he was the one that coined the term Web 3.0 back in 2014, and he also serves as the president of the Web3 Foundation. You can read through all the details on the Polkadot website. It is actually a really friendly website, giving you all the information you would ever need about Web3, about their mission, and also about their technology and how they actually think that they're going to work to bring other types of blockchains together, and as how they serve as a central hub, which is what we're going to talk about here in a second. So here on the technology page, you're going to see information about the relay chain, the parachain, the parathreads, and the bridges. I'm not going to go into details on each of those, but really what we're looking at for Polkadot is the hub, the spoke. They're going to be the relay chain, and then we're going to have parachains, which are going to be on the outside, sort of thinking of the outside, the spokes that are coming into Polkadot. Now, they're going to be the relay. It's going to basically bring information from other blockchains, allow it to use their security, and that's going to let them communicate with other blockchains a lot more easily than we see right now. Alright, so I wanted to give everybody a really quick idea, and one of the things that really stuck out to me is obviously we know some of the other blockchain folks like ETH, which is operating on Ethereum. We have BNB, the Binance, and then we have Cardano. Obviously everybody is in their own sphere. When you're looking to buy tokens, let's say whenever we buy SafeMoon, we have to do our swap. We have to ride off the back of another blockchain. Right now, they all have their little areas. They have their own little circles where everything that exists kind of spins off of them, and it works perfectly fine if you're riding off of the back of that blockchain. One of the problems is there isn't a lot of ways that these blockchains can communicate with each other. They're all perfectly fine and they all serve their purpose. But the reason for Polkadot is to kind of serve as a central area, a central security area, which is going to be an interlinking that's going to bring other blockchains together. Alright folks, here we are on Coinbase.com. It's one of the best areas to find information. This is just a really quick run through on Polkadot. If you haven't researched them, I'm sure everybody's heard of it, but really want to know if they should look into investing or just to do a little bit more investigation, I want to give you a really quick rundown through some of this information. So just like any other crypto, if you want to purchase it, you're going to need to go to somewhere like Coinbase and go ahead and set up your account. Link it there, that way you're able to actually access it. Now, one of the big things that I do like about Polkadot, which is explained right here, the DOT token serves two main functions within Polkadot network. It's a governance token, which allows holders to have a say in the future of the protocol. Now, if you watch some videos on YouTube, you'll actually see the founders explaining how certain aspects of the token were voted upon by the holders, and they were actually able to affect some of the code and how it was implemented, which I thought was really cool. And it's used for staking, which is the way Polkadot network verifies transaction and issues new DOT. DOT can be bought and sold on exchanges like Coinbase, as we talked about earlier. Now, one of the great things about Polkadot is when people come in and create blockchains around that hub, they're going to need to have something called a proof of stake. And what that is they're going to have to start out with at least 10,000 dots. And what that means is it can kind of get away from all the folks that are trying to rug pull, and it's really going to force people to be invested in what they're working on. Now, when we're thinking about Polkadot, we really want to understand that it is being used as something as a hub relay. So folks are going to be able to build blockchains using a base formula that Polkadot supplies, and then they're going to be able to actually run into the hub, which is the main Polkadot security center. That's going to allow a lot more transactions to happen at a time. As you can see up here on the screen, the reason the Polkadot can process all of this information is because the many parachains do a lot of the heavy lifting for the main relay chain, which is the ones on the outside. As a result, Polkadot can process more than 1,000 compared to about 7 and 30 for Ethereum. As the network grows, more parachains are added. Polkadot should get even faster and faster and faster in the future. Now here we see the validators, and this is what I also wanted to bring up. This is how the staking works in Polkadot, and why that most folks that are going to go through these processes are really going to be dedicated to what they're doing. Validators do most of the work. It's a major commitment and requires technical know-how. To become a validator, you need to run a node, and with little to no downtime, and stake a substantial amount of your own DOT. In exchange, you get the right to verify legitimate transaction, add new blocks of transactions to the relay chain, and potentially earn newly created DOT. Secondly, today guys, as you can see here, we already have an article that was just dropped today bragging about how much DOT has went up just in the past few hours. As of 3:30 Eastern, DOT has already moved up an impressive amount. It looks like we have already ripped up, what is this, 6.5% in a very small amount of time. Polkadot's Layer 1 independent parachain scaling solution, which is the transaction improvement area, has come into focus for many investors of late. The surge in interest has propelled Polkadot to a top 10 spot in terms of market capitalization. Interest in recent parachain launches, including that of Moonbeam, have investors interested in the network. It is getting a lot of press. Polkadot isn't going anywhere. Last but not least, guys, here we are on coinmarketcap.com. Wanted to go over some levels real quick and show you why I was so interested in buying in. Now, back here in July, we saw that Polkadot actually hit a really low level, and I don't think we're going to be going back down to that level to wait for a new buy. So I was looking for some more dips, and what we're looking at right now is actually a really nice area. Around 23 is where we have had a lot of touches, and then if you move up between the 23 to 24 area, and that has been since September all the way here into 2022. Now you see we did have a really nice spike up to 55 not too long ago, but what we're going to do is zoom in, look at some of this recent action. It looks like we may be really close to a buying point if we haven't already missed it. These are the last few sessions, and as you can see, they haven't really been on high volume as we had back here in September, where we had a lot of selling on high volume. So here you can see we kind of have a head and shoulders pattern forming here. And you know, honestly, what I would like to do is I'd like to see if crypto as a whole is going to stay in this market of bearishness, or if it's going to run bullishness again. Now I am going to go ahead and look into pushing a little bit into DOT, as I said, but before I continue to tranche in, I'm not going to go all in at once. I want to see if we're going to actually move past these levels of $30, or if it's going to want to draw back a little bit. But I would say the 23 level is a beautiful support level for DOT. And once we break back through this 30 to 31 barrier, there is no telling where this is going to go in 2022.